What is going on, guys? This is Mr. DanCan18 coming at you today with my SimCity Let's Play. Now, let me explain something right up at the top here, because some of you may have watched episode 1 of my SimCity Let's Play yesterday. I ended up having to delete that because there was a third-party copyright infringement flagged on that episode because of the music. So I've turned the music all the way down and I've just decided to re-record it. The reason is because I know some folks had watched it, some friends of mine, and so, but none of the views were showing up. I'm not looking to make any money, any money off of this. You can tell from my amount of views that I'm not a YouTube partner or anything. But I want the views to show up so I can see what's going on and all that. I mean, I don't know if that was just some glitch. Maybe it was my computer. But I was only like 40 minutes in anyways, so I just decided to start over. So if you're one of the folks that watched it yesterday, first of all, thanks for watching it, but you may want to skip to maybe the next episode, or you can rewatch it if you want, because I'm gonna do some of the same things again just to get started. So if you've watched it already, you might want to skip on to the next episode. But anyways, with that out of the way, it's a couple of weeks after launch of the game. If you followed it at all, the launch of this game, you probably know why I waited. The launch was a disaster for EA and Maxis and SimCity and the whole deal. It was unplayable for the first week. You couldn't even get into the servers to play at all. They added enough servers so you could at least get into the game. But the really disappointing part was once you got in, it still was borderline unplayable. They had terrible traffic issues, other bugs and glitches that just you couldn't play the game. It was unplayable. But supposedly there's been enough updates and patches and such that we can now play the game. The traffic is what I mainly had a problem with. But enough of me talking. Let's get started. We are going to play in this Viridian Woods here, because it has 16 cities, 4 places for the great works. We could, we have plenty of room to expand. So, and like I said, I recorded this yesterday, so some of these names I'll just rename it the same thing. We'll make it private. And like I said, 16 cities. They're kind of subdivided into, quadrants. Some of them are connected with like rail or such, but most of them are just isolated to themselves. They're kind of subregions within the region. So we're going to start over here. Kind of sets up well to do the international airport right here at this great works location. And that's sort of the easiest one, in my opinion, to build initially. And it sets up good for tourism. So we're going to sort of make this our tourism hub. We're going to put our main city right here in Bamberg Basin. But what I like to do is, how when you start a main city, you eventually spread into a second city so that you can, sort of like a dirty city, like where it's got dirty jobs, and maybe you set up a power source there so your main city can buy power from there. You can service it as far as trash pickup and things like that. So what I typically like to do is to start that service city, is what I will call it, first, so that when I go and start my main city, I have already some services set up. So we're going to start sort of our jobs / service city first. Some of these loading screens I may edit out because my computer is a little slow. So if it just jumps ahead and skips, don't sweat it. All right, here we go. Okay, hit pause. All right, plenty of room. Whoops, wrong way. All right, let's see which way the wind's blowing. Probably toward, yeah. All right, so that means with the wind blowing that way, we'll put the industry over here so that it blows away from our residents. The pollution blows away from our residents that we'll put over here. Okay, see where I think there's oil in this city. We need barrels of oil to do the international airport. Where are you at? There we are. So, all right, so that kind of works out. We'll put the residents over here. Cool. All right. Now, we will connect our city. See how much space I had left. All right, like I said, all of my cities have always had traffic issues, so I'm going to attempt to mitigate that somehow. This main strip, I'm never gonna attach anything to it unless it's an avenue. I mean, because I had terrible traffic issues in most of my other cities where traffic would back up all the way blocking the other entrances of the of the other cities. It was terrible. So hopefully they fixed it, but we're gonna pretend they didn't just in case. Should I go ahead and do medium? No, we'll stay with low dense. All right. Now we're putting industry over here, so and it needs a little more room to spread out. It's pretty cool. Yeah, why not? All right, and then we'll delete that so we don't create traffic jams here at the turns. We got to jump forward in time a little so that these will open up for us to be able to zone. All right, and another thing I'm going to use in an attempt to not have any traffic issues is I'm not going to zone, at least initially, on the avenues. So that, because one of the problems I ran into once I got over 100,000 citizens, and that may not happen at all in this city, but just sort of a tip, I'm always gonna attempt to do that, to not zone on the avenues here. What would happen is, like if I were to zone commercial the whole way down there, if you zoom in here, traffic would cars would try to, go into these buildings here that would be zoned on the avenue. But, well, let's pause it. Oops. So you see that truck came in. It can't turn across this street, across the median here. It has to come all the way down here, do a U-turn, and go back. And so it creates this huge amount of congestion there. So I'm just going to try to not zone it all on avenues and see how that helps us. Okay, so we'll bring the avenue on down. We got all the way to the end here. Let's go ahead and do that. For our residential. Now these bonds, typically I would try not to borrow any money, of course. But in early game, to get things started, it's almost impossible, at least the way I'm doing it, to not borrow, to not use the bonds. I think I'm going to start with medium on the residential. Hopefully we won't run into money issues, but yeah, it's okay. These are pretty cheap. It doesn't hurt you that much at all. Get some zones in here. Again with the trying to foresee some traffic problems. Okay. Put some parks in here. water. And power. Get that last bond. And now we can start it. All right. And let's see how folks move in here. And if you guys have any tips, please leave them down in the comments, because I by no means am an expert. But if this is just some of the things I've tried to use to mitigate traffic, it's probably overkill. Hopefully it is, since they, you know, the update has come through. But if it is, it is, and we can zone more later, or add more later, or change some things. It's a little boring in the way I've gridded it out, but I won't always do that. I'm just trying to see how it works when we get things started. Yes, yes, power's coming. We can wait on sewage a little while. I love this game, and I was so disappointed when it, you know, I pre-ordered it and was playing it the day of launch, and well, I tried to play it the day of launch. Yeah, I need my coffee too. Just wait a second. Why is it taking so long? Okay, there, finally. But it sucked so bad. I've played every one of them. Well, I think every one of them, but all the way back to when it was on the Super Nintendo. To date myself a little. All right. Town Hall. Where do we want to put this? Right here? Happy, happy, happy. Name our city. Now, eventually, this is going to be where we're going to get our source of oil. So, Drillington. Yeah. Need to add some more zones. I'm not going to be super worried about the happiness over here in this city, because I know, I mean, there's gonna be oil wells over here and a lot of jobs over here, dirty jobs. So it's gonna be tough to keep the residents super happy anyway. So I may block out one this way because our oil's over there. So going that way might be a problem in the future. But let's check that. Well, I may could do one more block, but then again, the oil wells would be in their backyard. Well, either way. Okay, we are turning a profit. Let's put some trash pickup. Should we do sewage first? Let's just put it right there. Alright, see if we can make some money. And then do the trash pickup and send the trucks over to our main town once we get it started. What I may do just for now, since money is tight, So zoning, excuse me, laying out more road would be expensive. I know I made that whole monologue about zoning on Avenue, but maybe just to start with, and not on the main strip. We'll see how that goes, and that's always something we could fix in the future. That'll be temporary, because once I block stuff this way anyways, these will get demolished and I can unzone them or dezone them. Just trying to get some tax revenue in so we can install some trash pickup. What I may do is go ahead and jump over to the new town. Because money is tight right now, so I can't do a whole lot. I can go ahead and put our trash guy in. 9,000 bucks. We'll put him here. I think it's 5,000 per truck. Yeah, so we don't have the cash for that at the moment. Another thing they did during their patches and fixes and things is they took away some of the cool things about the game, like online scoreboards, leaderboards, and things like that. But one of the things they did also was took away cheetah speed. Now it would say cheetah speed, but it would only be going at llama speed. I can't really tell the difference anymore. Okay, there's llama speed. Yeah, there is no cheetah speed still, is there? You guys have any info on when they'll be putting that in? Because that surely would help us. Instead of just sitting here watching it churn there. Alright, well what I'm going to do is jump out to the region and go ahead and begin our main city, and we'll get things going there.